Wow, another episode.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that we've been able to chat like this.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm excited to chat and break down. Obviously, this is the Heart to Heart podcast. I've been taking a break from it for a little while. Haven't released an episode, I think, in like a month and a half, which is the first time in like 3 years with change of location and trying to get our own stuff figured out. Just wanted to take a break. It felt like I was just rushing them, doing them on my own and not having a guest because I didn't have the time to do that. And it was just rushed. And it just seemed like it was better to take a break, build up some podcasts that are quality than just release to release.
You know what? It's funny. I feel the exact same way about my social media.
Yeah.
So you'll see I go in sometimes a bit of spurts. I'll be releasing a lot of content and then I come to like this block and I decide to take a bit of a break. And I feel like, just like yourself, it's best to release quality content instead of rush content or content just for the sake of releasing content. And I feel like that's one thing that really kind of makes me stand out from other content creators. I'm not just there to get likes. The only reason I am posting content is for the purpose of, inspiring people.
Yeah. And 100%. I just realized how far out I am. But I think, like, how much anxiety do you get from social media in general? Like,
huge.
I have a hard time where one of my biggest issues right now is with the social media aspect, you're trying to do fucking 19 things. You're trying to like create reels, create posts, create stuff that's engaging and entertaining and stuff that you want your listeners to see, and you're editing it and posting it. And to think like, do I need to post once a day, twice a day? Do I do them all on Sunday? Do I do them after work on Monday? It's like, what the fuck? How the fuck do I manage this?
Yeah, the whole algorithm kind of thing. It's super overwhelming, and there is definitely a science behind social media. I've had quite a few reels on Instagram go somewhat viral, and it's funny. I'll release them. Say I released one in January, and it went viral in March.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, hey, what is the method to that madness? It just does not, I haven't figured it out. Like I said, there is some kind of like a scientific, I just don't know what it is. And I don't put a lot, like, I don't care about how many followers I have. I don't care about the amount of likes that I get on stuff. Like I said, I'm just posting for the sake of inspiring people. As cheesy as that sounds, it's the honest to God truth. I really don't care.
I don't think that the people that don't do it with as purity as like you do, with like an actual reason to do it, grow like you did.
Right.
Like, just to go out and say, we're going to wake up today, we're going to go after it, be yourself, and like being that fake shit, no one really engages with it or understands it. So seeing where your profile is and how you've grown is clearly from a genuine standpoint. When you talk about the algorithm and shit, the stuff that you fucking take hours to do that does nothing. Exactly. And then I made a video of me and my wife in my work truck at Zayre's, videoing people trying to get in the door while it's locked.
That was a good one.
And it goes to like 1.2 million people.
Right.
Like, made a video cleaning of my wife. It said like, send nudes on the stove. 1.6 million. It's like, I spend all this time editing other stuff.
Again, what is that method? Like, what is it? I really haven't figured it out yet. I'm sure there's people out there that know, and those are the people with like, over 5 million followers, but I sure as heck haven't got there yet.
No. And it is very hard to balance both. Like, I'm the same thing where social media, the part of it that I don't like is the part where you see only the best parts of people's life. Like, you don't ever hear the struggle it took for them to get there, which is the part that I want to see. Is like, every single time I've ran into anyone that's successful, I'm immediately just like, for instance, I was in Oakville the other day and there was a McLaren parked out front. Okay. I pull in and I'm like, obviously, like, this is such a sick car. And in my mind, I've been reading these books like $1 Million in 12 Months, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like all these different books to try and get better with business. And so my mind's like, I should like look for who I think owns this, just introduce myself, like say like, I want to be successful someday too. Like, if you ever have any advice, I'd love to hear it. Then I'm like, how am I just going to find someone that drives a McLaren, right? So I'm walking in the door and I'm helping a friend of mine. We're selling a vodka beverage, a sugar-free vodka beverage. And so I'm in there trying to telemilestones, like we'd love to get it on your menu. Ended up getting it on the menu. That was sick.
Amazing.
And a guy walks in behind me and he sees me giving her the samples and he's like, can I get one of those? And I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, no worries. Like, I went up to my truck and I gave him a sugar free, and he fucking lifts the door of the McLaren and sets it on the front seat.
Amazing.
And in my mind, I'm
Amazing.
like, you
Well
drive a $500,000 car. You want a free sample of a vodka beverage? Anyway, so I went out and I decided, you know what? Like, he's sitting down to eat lunch. I'm going to eat lunch here. Take the time to be around this person. And I sat down. He ended up choosing the table next to me, had people come and meet him. And when I was leaving, I was just like, don't be a bitch. Say something.
Do it.
So I went and got my cards and I gave it to him. I said, hey, it was a pleasure to meet you. I would love to hear how you got to where you are right now. Just some kind of advice. If you ever have that, please give me a call. Gave my card.
Super organic.
Was out for dinner that night with my in-laws and my wife, and my phone starts ringing. I didn't know the name, but I get calls for sales all the time. So I was like, I got to answer this. So I went out front and talked to him for 45 minutes.
Amazing.
About like how he got to a McLaren. He started off his life rough and he thought he was going to end up in jail, and how all this stuff changed in his life. And I know that was a long way to get there, but it's this little shit of like, that's what I was interested in, is how the fuck did he get there? Right? And all you ever see on the social media is the McLaren or the nice suit, or I want to know what the fucking grinding you did when you were waking up at 5 a.m. running, or when you were calling people night and day to get fucking successful. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. A lot of people like to showcase all of the highs and showcase it on social media, but very often are you seeing those low lows, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't showcase all of my low lows, because I definitely have a lot of them, and you got to be a bit personal, especially on social media.
Yeah.
But I definitely do share a lot of my lows that I feel that my followers can relate to, like injury, illness, heartbreak, all that good stuff. So I think that that's another reason why I'm a bit more relatable to people.
I agree. I have genuinely been looking for the male version of you. I have been on social media looking for this person who I've never been to the same level of weight that you were able to come back from, but I use your aspect of losing weight and we'll get into the job that you do well, fucking managing to lose weight. But I think to myself, I'm like, you're closer to the end than this person was when they fucking started.
Right.
Okay. Your journey at the start is going to be easier than when they started. Just do it. The just do it thing is such a fucking simple answer. Okay.
100%.
Wake up.
Yep.
Like, you know what you need to do to lose weight. You need to eat better, calorie deficit, go to the gym.
Just move your body, not even go to the gym.
Like,
start out small. And I think that that's another huge thing that is, people talk about losing weight and, the things that you have to do to get there. And it's not like this big extravagant thing. You don't need to go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym. I lost my weight during COVID. Like, the gyms were closed during COVID.
Good for you.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I'm not able to do this. So my new mantra in life is do what you can do and just do what you can do really well. So what can I do? I can focus on just getting in my steps. I had 10-pound dumbbells is all I had to start out with. Right. So I was just, doing some online workouts and just moving my body. And, I cut out some of the junky food that I was eating, like, McDonald's and all that stuff. And that's how I got here is I feel like when we jump into things with both feet, it can be super overwhelming. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why why I was successful, but why I have continued to be successful is because I started out slow. I was maybe getting 2,000 steps a day when I first started my journey. And now getting 15,000 is like a walk in the park. I don't even think about it. And I get 15,000 steps a day. And I think that starting out slowly, I'm like, okay, I'm getting 2,000. Next week, I'm going to aim for 2,500 steps. And then maybe a month after that, I'm going to aim for 3,000 steps. And so starting out very, very slowly. And I like to kind of, look at it like you're building a foundation of a house. You build up a house real quick and fast. If a tornado comes through, that house is getting torn down, right? Yeah. But if you lay a really solid foundation, that house is not going anywhere. And that's the way that I look at my journey is I've built a mansion.
I was there a book or anything that made you flip that switch, or was one day? I think I remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
You had some like upsetting scenario happen where your weight was an influence of something that made you like.
Yeah, I was in Florida with my girlfriends. Yeah. And they took a picture of me. I'll send you the picture. They took a picture of me from the side in a bathing suit. And, I was smiling, my happy smile. And I got back to the sand, and my girlfriend's like, she calls me Topic. She's like, Topic, look at this beautiful picture I took of you. And I looked at it and like, I was like, what? I'm 5'9", I'm pretty tall, girl.
Yeah.
And so I always felt like I carried my weight well, but to see that side profile in a bathing suit took the wind out of me. Like, I can't even imagine. And the rest of the day I was super down. We went out for sushi that night, and I told them, I'm like, guys, this is the last supper for me. I'm going to go all out and go wild on sushi. But starting tomorrow, which was November 1st, 2019, I am enough's enough. And it was that picture. And, I always, whenever I'm having a bad day or I feel like, hey, this isn't working for me anymore. I'm just, really down on the way that my body looks, especially now, even after losing the weight, I'm still not very confident in the way my body looks. I always revert back to that picture and I'm like, dang, Christina, like you've come a long, long way. Yeah. And in terms of the book, David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me is my ultimate. I've listened to tons of audiobooks. Obviously Mel Robbins is another great source. But out of all of them, that book, because it's just it's all about this.
Yeah, it's
the mental part
mind
of this journey, and that's what he focused on. And he says, once you callous your mind, literally, you can go through death, injury, heartbreak, and none of it is going to matter, once you callous your brain. So if I can recommend one, I've probably read it about 5 times and I've listened to the audiobook about 10. I know it word for word at this point. And
him?
Yeah.
Oh,
or no,
nice.
So the audiobook is read by somebody else, but every, I think it's every chapter he comes in and then they dissect the chapter.
That's something you're not going to get from a book.
Exactly. So he's not the one who reads it, but it's very, very well done. Yeah.
That's the first book that I fully read in my life.
Me too.
Like,
Me too.
I was always that like skim through it for projects shit. Didn't want to read. Read that thing top to bottom.
100%. I'm the exact same way.
I started reading it and I was posting about it, and then like family was reaching like, hey, when you're done that. So like I've got a list of 5 people. Like right now it's at my cousin's house. She's reading it. It's going to my sister-in-law's house. But yeah, that book's incredible. But your entire like mantra, like your mentality around losing weight after seeing the way you looked reminds me of a lot of the books I've read where it's a 1% difference either a day or a week. Like just that 1%. Like it seems like a little. You go for a 5-minute walk, tomorrow do 6, then do 7, then do 8. And all of a sudden it's easy for you to do an hour walk. It's easy for you to do an hour and a half walk.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I've been trying to smooth into is just, it's very easy to put so much pressure on yourself immediately to like, why the fuck aren't you good enough? Why can't you just fucking do everything that you're supposed to do? I sit there and would just criticize myself of get up, eat a healthy breakfast, do a workout, go to work, grind, get home, podcast, edit, then take an hour to relax and do your shit. And then it was still like every day wasn't 100% what I wanted. There was just so much. It's very easy to put so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah. I think that when we look at the entire staircase, it's overwhelming. Like all those things you just mentioned, that's looking at the entire staircase. Whereas for me, I just look at the next step. The rest of it is just blurred out in my brain. I'm like, okay, what is the next step? And then once I get to that step, we'll go to the next. We'll go to the next. I feel like a lot of people put that pressure on themselves, especially at the start of my journey. I tell my clients all the time, the importance of just focusing on making really small changes over time. Those small changes amount to huge results. And I am literally living proof of making small changes. And the results will come. The problem is with small changes equal, you have to give it the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't, they're looking for those quick fixes like, the semaglutide and all that junk, which I don't even want to get into. And you know what? You'll see the results quickly, 100%. I've seen it. You do get those results really quickly. But once you stop it, all that weight's coming back. And not putting in that work, you're not working on the main the main thing that you need to work on in order to see those results, which is your headspace.
Yeah. That's where I read both. I have both. The first one obviously just sat me down to think like how much you really need to change the way you think to get through things. But when it came down to reading that book, like you're saying, like seeing all the steps, like seeing the entire staircase immediately and not knowing that you just need to do one step at a time. It was not until recently, like within the last couple months, where I was just, don't need to keep bringing this back to myself, but where I'm sitting there thinking to myself of like always overwhelmed of how I'm doing, where I decided to look up all the people that I wanted to be like or have the same type of life of comedy or podcasting or what it was, and realize like how long did it take them to get there? Like I looked up their story and it's like decade or 7 years or 15 years. And it's like, I keep looking at it as I need to crush today and tomorrow everything's going to be changed, as if it's just fucking happens in the blink of an eye. And it was that realization of like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight, but to sit there and really think about how long this journey is. I'm 3 years deep into this. We got a long way to go, but I was very poor at enjoying the moment, right? And sitting down.
Enjoy the ride, and I was very bad at that at first. I feel like my first year, all I cared about was the number on the scale.
Yep.
I took no mind. There's no mind there in terms of recognizing all of my non-scale victories. And looking back, I'm like, dang, you had a lot of them. And I just didn't give myself, I wasn't kind to myself in that regard. It's like on the scale every dang day. Please, people, do not go on the scale every day. It's so detrimental. And it's like, hey, did I lose, couple pounds or what? It put me in such a negative headspace for my first year. And that's why I decided to become a coach, honestly, was to help people through those points in their life. Because, again, it's really important to focus on the non-scale victories. And I felt like I was more successful overall in my mind once I really started to focus on those non-scale victories, and the scale was rewarding me, once I did focus on them, like even just something small, like, being able to put on a sweater that I haven't been able to fit into, since high school, that I've kept around, my favorite sweater. It's like, oh, one day I'm going to fit into this again, and putting it on, it fitting, and just not even giving myself, the credit for it. And it's like, wow, Christina, like that is a big freaking deal, or even something as simple as, at work, they're always coming around with, hey, do you want pizza? Do you want, donuts and all that good stuff? And, back in the day, I would have been like, heck yeah, give me the free pizza. Yeah. But now it's people at work don't even come to my desk anymore and ask me if I want the pizza because they know I'm not going to say no. And that to me is a huge non-scale victory that, my workmates recognize that, you're putting in work. We see you putting in that work and we're not even going to attempt you with it. Like that's a huge non-scale victory to me that my coworkers are 100%. Noticing that,
Yeah.
And, back in the day, I wouldn't have even paid attention to it. But now it's like, yeah, that's huge, know? So.
And that's exactly why you should be coaching. Mm-hmm. Like when you talk about coaching and breaking that down, it is going to save men or women so much time at the start. Like the start is huge of not knowing what to do, not knowing what the right idea is. I fucking was like a fish jumping out of water trying to fucking survive that was a terrible analogy. But anyway, I was just like jumped into the deep end and had no fucking clue what to do. And it took such a long process of so much disappointment and shit. And those are the points and things that someone needs to hear, that needs to get that fucking boost at the start and get their life started. And you coaching is such a great idea. It's so much better when if someone came up to me that was broke and bankrupt and said, I'm going to help you become a millionaire, I ain't listening to shit. Okay. You ain't telling me nothing. Okay. But someone that comes up that has lost significant amounts of weight and have been able to grind through during some of the most depressing times of our lives during COVID and with the job that you do, that's huge.
Yeah.
Be able to see exactly who got through it and how they did it.
You know what? And I think about this all the time. Like, where could I be today if I had Coach Christina of today coaching me back when I first started? You know,
It's very true.
I'm very proud of kind of where I've been able to get to by myself. I haven't had anybody, you know, help me. This is all me grinding. This is me doing research online. This is me learning about what macros are. This is learning about, you know, what calorie deficit is. This is me, you know, learning how to do, you know, a dumbbell press or whatever, right? It's like I've put in that work, you know? And so I think to myself, wow, like, where could I be today if I had me coaching me, you know? But I'm a coach today because I went through that grind and I figured my shit out. I figured out how to get to where I am today, you know? So as much as I, you know, am, you know, I think back and I wonder if I did get a coach where I could be, but you know, I'm very proud of where I am and how I've been able to do it by myself, you know?
And that gives you the right to coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You see like these, you know, 20 and no, you know, I'm not bashing anybody. Yeah. But, you know, you see these 20-year-old, you know, 150-pound soaking wet girls, you know, out there saying, you know, hire me to be your coach. And yeah, great. You know, go for it, girlfriend. But are you going to, you know, they're going to tell you to do 30 burpees, you know, on your first week of programming. And it's like, girlfriend, I'm 333 pounds. I can't even jump, let alone do 30 burpees. Whereas someone like me, I've been in your shoes. I know that you can't do 30 burpees.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're going to start out really small and let's just get your steps from 3,000 this week to maybe 3,500 next week because I get it.
Listen here, 125. If you want to coach women that are the same size as you,
yes,
go ahead.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to maintain something that you've never gained,
yes,
have fun.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Like, I'm not taking even opinions from people that have never done it. Like, it just because you read a book doesn't mean you like actually know what it's like to go through it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go to become a nutritionist or kinesiologist or whatever it is to know the body and know what's supposed to do it, but it's different when you actually have to do it. The mind is gonna fucking tell you not to.
And not even just do it, but do it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it despite, you know, A, B, C, and D that, you know, roll into your life, you know?
Yeah.
And again, it all comes down to this, you know, one of my favorite analogies is just because, you know, you get a puncture in one of your tires, are you going to go puncture the other three? No, it's like, okay, I've had whatever shit happen to me. I'm going to allow myself to be in my feels. I'm going to allow myself to kind of go through the motions, be sad, be upset, be heartbroken, whatever that looks like. But I'm not going to stay there. You know, I've been in my fair share of low points in my life and in my journey. But I think the thing that, you know, makes me different is I don't stop. You know, just because I'm in this negative place, I'm not going to stay there. I've been to the top. I know what the top feels like, and that's where I'm going to get back to.
Yeah.
It's going to take some grinding.
Yeah.
You know, for example, after my concussion, I gained back 40 pounds. You know, I reverted back to all of my old habits for a good 6 months. Yeah. And I decided February 22nd of last year, I remember the date. I'm like, okay, Christina, my doctor gave me the clearance to start exercising again. And I'm like, okay, we're starting from the bottom, quite literally from the bottom again. But we know what we need to do to get back to where we were. And now, you know, it took me a good year to get that weight off. But I'm back here, you know, and the grind it's constant. And you just don't give up. Just don't give up, you know?
That's not an easy thing to do twice.
Yeah.
To lose all that weight, put 40 on, and then do it again.
Yep.
Like, that's an easy thing. Like, it wasn't until I started seeing a therapist that I started to realize how much I didn't allow myself to be in my feels. Like, to actually take what I'm feeling right now, like sad or mad or whatever it may be, and actually just sit down and analyze why I feel that way and getting through it. It was always just, yeah, we're burying this thing 10 feet deep. We're fucking going on to the next thing. I'm not dealing with this shit right now. That I realized it was fucking hurting me bad. So like now it's like when I'm pissed off in traffic because some asshole didn't put their blinker on and cut me off, I'm like, this is why I'm mad. This person sucks ass, right? Instead of me just going, you know what, fuck him, and like flying by and being an idiot and doing stupid shit. But it's those things that you never. It's easy just to think that the only process to lose weight or change the way you are is to exercise and eat better, when your mind is something you need to control well before then. Being able to stop yourself. That's why I want to know, like, how much of your original weight gaining in your life had to do with your current job?
A significant amount. I gained about 85 pounds in the first 4 years of. I'm a police dispatcher and call taker. So very stressful.
Not good calls. Yeah. No one's calling for their grocery order.
Yeah. You don't call the police when you're having a good day.
No.
Let's just say that. And on the other side of it is dispatching, having that, the responsibility of, being, the watchful eye for your police officers and making sure, you're doing all the checks and making sure that they go home to their family safe at the end of every single day, is a huge responsibility. A lot of pressure. Getting the right people to the right place at the right time to ensure that, people can, get through, sometimes the most horrific times in their lives. And so that stress definitely had a lot to do with my initial, balloon. And it all came down to the way that I was dealing with that stress. Back then, I'd work, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. a lot, excuse me. And before I even left work, I already would have my McDonald's app open, and I'd order my food so that, I could just drive right through, say, hey, yeah, my order number is AW, whatever. And it was there ready to go. And I would go home, and I wouldn't just get one McDonald's meal. I'd get two. I could eat like 2 filet of fish, 2 medium fries, and 2 drinks at 2:00 in the morning.
Damn.
To deal with my stress. It was my blanket. It felt so good, And then I'd go home and I'd go to bed after eating that. And to think of it now just boggles my brain. I could never, ever do that. But it's the way that it just made me feel so. I remember like getting the bag and just like starting to mow down on the fries. And it was like instant. I instantly felt like the weight of my shift was off my shoulders, And next thing I know, a couple years in, I'm having to get new clothes, and like my sandals weren't even fitting me. I'm like, hey, I think there's something going on here. And again, I'm taller, so I kind of was able to kind of hide my weight well. And then again, after that picture was taken and making that decision to kind of get healthy again, I just made a mindset shift. It's like, hey, this is how we used to deal with our feelings and our bad calls. Yep. How do we change that up a bit? And you'll see on my Instagram, way back in the start, you'll see me. I put, at 2:00 in the morning on my stories, I'm there at the gym on the stair climber. I'd go to the gym at 2:00 in the morning after a bad shift.
As your new fix.
Yep.
See, I want to know, like, if you know how you really got through this, because when I have a shitty day at home, I almost feel like it's my better, happier moments where I fucking resort to this ass food. And I don't know how to fucking stop it. Like, if I have a great day, I just crushed 2 big customers, we're fucking rolling, it's sunny as hell out, let's start drinking, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, and I've been drinking non-alcoholic for you. I did like 125 days with no booze, had a couple weekends of like friends' 30ths and big events where I was like, I'm drinking at big events. I'm not putting the pressure on myself to never fucking drink again. But when I come home and it's a fucking great day and I'm like, let's keep enjoying the day. We'll go, there's a wing house in town. They make fantastic chicken wings. And I will sit down and eat a pound and a half of deep fried chicken wings and fucking fried onion rings with creamy garlic sauce on them.
Yum.
And I will just be in fucking heaven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I get home and I fucking have the guilt terribly.
Exactly.
Where it's like, you just crushed a fucking hour workout today that made you to this fucking high.
Yep.
It got you here. It made you in a fucking good mood, and you just went, fuck you.
Yep. And so the thing that I always do is, okay, so say I'm at work and they come around with the free pizza.
Yep.
Okay. In that moment, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is going to taste so good for a good 5 minutes. This is going to taste amazing. Fresh hot pizza at work. That's free. You can't get better than that, right? It's going to taste good for 5 minutes. How long is that guilt going to last? A hell of a lot longer than the 5 minutes. So, and even it goes the same, with my workouts. In the moment where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go get a workout in, instead of focusing on that feeling of, I don't want to go put my workout clothes on and drive to the gym, it sucks. Instead, I focus on how I'm going to feel after. That is what I focus on. So same goes for the wings. I love myself a good wings. I'm not telling you to not have wings. Are we doing it every week or every, couple days? No. Every once in a while, heck yeah, go and enjoy your life. But again, I always focus on how I'm going to feel after, when I'm every once in a while, I'll have craving for McDonald's, and I'll drive by and there's a McDonald's that they just erected like 2 minutes from my house. So I'm driving by McDonald's constantly. And so, I smell the smell of the fries and it just brings me back to that great place. And, I have the moments of weakness where it's like, oh, just get a small fry. But again, I'm like, hey, if you go in, wait in that drive-through for a small fry, you eat the fry, it's literally gonna, again, 5 minutes of pleasure. And then you're going to go home and you're going to be like, damn, Christina, why the frick did you do that? You shouldn't have done it. You feel like a bag of garbage. The sodium makes you feel all bloated. Instead you could have gone and taken your dog for a nice walk, put your podcast on, in your earbuds and just like enjoyed the life. And then you would have come home and felt so much better about yourself. So when I'm in those moments and when I'm feeling those feelings of wanting to kind of overindulge. Again, every once in a while is fine. I'm not telling you to not go and get your wings. But getting to that headspace of, okay, I'm not going to focus on the craving right now. I'm going to focus on the feeling afterwards. And that's what gets me out of it every single time.
I think that's one of my biggest loves of you as a coach is I'm hard at the almost like David Goggins' psychopath mindset where it's like, if I'm not fucking doing this to 1,000,000%, 365 days a year, I'm never going to fucking make it like these pros did. But the way that you take it in, the way it should be taken in is, hey, fucking grind. Wake up and make yourself feel better. Work your ass off. Give yourself the gratification of getting through your fucking day the way you want to. But fucking put some time into you need to live. Go out with friends. Get that beer. Eat that fucking ice cream cone, but don't do it multiple times a week.
Exactly. Yeah. Moderation on this journey is key. It is how I got to where I am today. I will say though, the first year, there was no moderation for me. I was the David Goggins mentality where it's just like balls to the walls. There's no cheat days. There's none of that garbage. You are putting in the work every single day. And
do you think that was good? Do you think that was needed?
That's a good question.
I think it is.
You know what?
I think that there's a way to do it both ways.
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
But I think that some people's mindsets need that fucking no-go. You give them a little bit.
Yeah.
I smoked for over a decade. I grew up in a tobacco capital of fucking Ontario, and I started smoking at 13. Okay, I didn't quit till I was like 25. Okay, and I still smoked a couple times a year, but it gave me that mentality. Like, if I had one smoke on the weekend because I was drinking, I'm fucking buying a pack tomorrow and I'm right back to where I was.
Right.
I needed that full year of no fucking, not a puff of a cigarette, not a cigar, not shit. I needed that.
Yep, that's fair. I guess everybody's different. When I first started, I had all the junk food, the Oreos, the Doritos, all of it in my house. And I went and, all the unused things, I went and donated. All the things that were open, I just threw in the trash because I didn't want that temptation. And so that's how I did have to start. And it took me a while to kind of get to this place where I'm at, where I can have, Oreos in my house. And I just use, one or two for my Ninja Creamy, protein ice creams, right?
We have a Ninja Creamy now.
They are
they're
the best.
Cat's ass.
They're the cat's ass, a Fairlife, like a vanilla Fairlife protein with some cheesecake Jello.
Oh, shit! You sound like my wife.
It's the best. and then I'll just add in some. Again, I can have a whole package of Oreos in my house, and I'll only use two for my ice cream. You know, I'm like that. Me, 6 years ago, there's zero chance that an entire package of Oreos would have lasted me like maybe even a day, for God's
you think
sakes.
I'm cracking one of those sleeves? I'm
Yeah.
crushing one of those
Whereas
sleeves.
now, like I could have a package of Oreos in my house for a month, and it doesn't even
That's
faze
awesome.
me. Doesn't even faze me. You know, it took me a while to get here. You know, a lot of mental work,
Oh,
but I'm here.
can't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just being that weight, I can't imagine.
Yeah, you know, I the first time I weighed myself, I was 333 pounds, but that was after a good month of me working out. So there is a very good chance that I was tipping 350 easily. I probably even more than that.
Do you think, like, I don't know how to word this, but like, we were talking about like your job and how much this had to affect on your weight. Do you think that, like, did you specifically not get on that scale once you reached a certain size because you were just like, I ain't fucking looking at that thing? Like,
I didn't even own one. I did not even own a scale. If I went to the doctors, I would be petrified that he would make me go on the scale. And if I did, I would tell him, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what it is, you know? Whereas now when I go to the doctors, I'm like, hey, I hope he weighs me today.
Me
And my doctor, he referred to me as one of his athlete clients the last time I saw him. Right?
That's
it's
a
like,
win.
I'm an athlete client. I mean, you know, 350-pound Christina, who is terrified of the scale, and now I've reverted to like one of my doctor's athlete clients. Like, what? Right? It's kind of crazy.
I didn't think I'd be able to use one of these, but it might be loud. I'll have to get used to using those damn things. But that's a good feeling.
It was amazing. You know, I mean, I was there I have some severe asthma going on right now. So that was kind of junky, but yeah, he was bringing me over to the respiratory therapist and just like telling her about my journey and kind of some of the struggles I was going with my breathing. And he was like, this is one of my athlete clients. We need to figure this out. You know, obviously he has to help everybody, but he's like, we need to figure this out for her. Right. So I was like, and as soon as he said it, like it was a non-scale victory. It was a moment, and he probably has no idea how much it meant to me, him saying that to me. And it is something I will remember and cherish for the rest of my life, you know, and it really kind of solidified all the hard work that I put in. And, you know, he's a big Peloton guy. So whenever I'm in the office, that's all we talk about is Peloton and, you know, mental health and, you know, the importance of moving our bodies. And he's just, yeah, it's amazing kind of where we started, you know, going in to see him, you know, because I was so unbelievably depressed and him wanting to put me on, you know, depression medication to where I am now. Like, he has seen my transformation, and I think he's pretty dang proud of what I've done. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't been called an athlete since I was fucking 16. Okay. It would make me feel pretty good too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I actually accident.
Yep.
Ended up on Wellbutrin on an antidepressant.
That's what I was on. That was what I was on. Yep.
I'm on a program right now with my doctor with a target to be off of it.
Perfect.
Not hey, I want to be this on this the rest of my life.
And I'm off of it now. You know, I was on it for 3 years there. And I finally weaned myself off of it. So, and I attribute it to obviously speaking with, I have a counselor that I speak with, psychiatrist. Yep. I got diagnosed with PTSD last year. And obviously as a result of the job that I do, it's impossible to not, I don't think anybody who does my job wouldn't, you know, it's just, you know, maybe different levels of it, obviously. And I've known I've had it for a long time. And just like you, I'm like, suppress, McDonald's.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, I'm just going to let my flag fly. This is my issue. And I'm getting the help that I need. Again, speaking with a psychiatrist about, you know, my bad traumatic calls. On top of that, getting myself active and moving. Getting to a place where I actually enjoy being out with my family and friends instead of hermiting in my house, which was huge. And it's like, it's amazing. Like, my lust and love for life has improved so significantly with, you know, it's not just about physical, like with my weight loss, there's been just so many other different transformations, just like deep down inside.
That's it. It's not the only thing, I don't think, but every person that you see in public that is largely obese or overweight, mental health has got to be a massive piece of it.
Huge.
You don't just eat to eat. Like the people that you see that are just thin all the time, the lucky fuckers. Like my mom's mentality is a chipmunk. She eats a fucking granola bar in the morning for breakfast and fucking 2 eggs for dinner. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, why? How are you doing this? Like, it's just, apparently she just never really had to deal with that as much. And it fucking changes your life of being able to like finally get through that. Like, did you ever think you were going to take a pill to fucking help with depression when you were overweight, like before this journey started? You ever thought, did it come to your mind to think about taking it?
No, honestly, I just went to my doctor because I was feeling very, very sad. And he's the one who recommended, I've never even explored the options before. I've never looked up, what do you do when you're feeling really sad? So, obviously getting your body moving was one of the top answers. And I was like, heck no, I'm not doing that. I'm moving my body. Zero chance. Right. I'm like, hey, I want the quick fix, same with like the weight loss. A lot of people want the quick fix. I'm feeling sad. Doctor, what do I do, to help me? And that's when he prescribed the medication, which I don't really feel like it helped that much, to be honest with you. And then again, that picture was taken of me, and that's when I decided to kind of embark on this weight loss journey and get this love for myself back. And I think that getting to that place of loving myself finally is what helped me get to where I am today.
Yeah, that's huge. That's very huge, because there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah. I still struggle with it. I still struggle with it. When I look at myself in the mirror now, like in a bikini, do I love what I see? Not so much, with a significant amount of weight loss. A lot of times, unfortunately, you get some loose skin, and it's something that I'm really struggling with right now. And so once I get to the place where I feel like I'm wanting to, where I feel like I'm good and where I want to maintain, I'll eventually kind of look into the skin removal surgery. It's extremely pricey, unbelievably pricey. And it's really unfortunate because it does have such a significant bearing on not just like my physical, it's uncomfortable, but the mental part of it's like, damn, like I've put in all this work and I don't love like the results that I see in the mirror. And so like it kind of is a bit of a mental F, if you will,
Yeah,
so
100%.
I'm hoping down the road that I can, I'll be able to kind of basically all the money that I make from my coaching goes into a specific account, and that's where it's going to, is to help fund my surgery, because it's like up in the $30,000 mark. Yeah. And it's not covered, unfortunately, even though, it again, it's super uncomfortable and just, but yeah, it's not covered, unfortunately.
The thing is that's where I wish, not to get like political or talk about the fucking things that are healthcare and stuff, but instead of like giving me a free fucking antidepressant, you know what I mean? Instead of like I have benefits, so it would have cost me like $3, but to take away all that expense on this medication that is supposed to just make me feel better with a pill, why not have the reward for fucking being healthy? Where's the reward for fucking getting there? Like, people are going to live longer. It's going to cost the government and healthcare system so much less to be fucking healthy.
Yep.
Less drugs, less medication, less diabetes stuff, less all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. To have something at the end of a weight loss of that size of like
a reward.
Yes.
Right? It's like if you get to this place, this is what you're going to get, a lot of people don't, well, not say a lot. I would say quite a few people that embark on these journeys don't, like their skin bounces back. I think with age, it's a lot harder for it to bounce back. My best friend, she's lost a significant amount of weight as well. And she had to have the surgery as well, because we actually weighed about the same amount when we first started our journey. And, she's in her early 20s and she had to have the removal surgery because she had a significant amount of weight. So, there are so many factors. And, it's funny. It's one of the major questions that her and I both find from our followers on our social media is, did you have loose skin? Do you have loose skin? And it's a significant concern, and it should be. It's not fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sucks. But
what's better?
Exactly. I look at my body now compared to before. Which one am I going to pick? Yeah. 100%. Mm-hmm. And the way that I'm trying to train my mind is that my loose skin is the equivalent of a battle scar. Seeing it in the mirror, it's like, that is proof
you've shown
of your freaking hard ass work, Christina. The only problem is like, when you go out to the beach and you're wearing that bikini, people look at you and it's like, they don't know where I came from. They're just looking at me like, ugh, look at her stomach, So that's the only, that's where I struggle, but.
I wouldn't look at it like that.
I don't, because I've been there, and when I see people with the loose skin, I'm like, hey, that's a lot of work there.
I think a lot more people think about that for you than you think.
I hope so.
It's also very hard for you to put yourself in that mindset, because I do the same thing. I judge myself, critique myself every time I look at the mirror. I'm wearing fucking shorts right now that I think are a little too short. Okay? And
I think you look amazing.
My wife and all of her friends say, no, that's the perfect size short. All my buddies that are guys, they're like, those are fucking bicycle shorts. Okay? So I deal with that shit too. I get it. But if I saw someone at the beach wearing her fucking bikini with pride, her fucking loose skin is there because it shows what she's been through. Yeah. I'm like wanting to walk up and fist bump her and say, good for fucking you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, congratulate. And more people should do that. Don't be afraid to go tell someone that you're fucking pumped about them. I do it in the gym.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that last time we were chatting. Yeah, it's so. I remember the first time that I reached out to somebody. Yeah, at the gym. It was a girl. She was probably like the same weight that I was when I first started. It was late at night, so there weren't many people in there, and she was on the elliptical just grinding her butt off, and she had her earbuds in, and I walked up to her, and she like was kind of taken aback that I was coming up to her, and she took her earbud out, and I just said to her, I'm like, honestly, I am super proud of you. I see you in here like a couple times a week, and you're putting in work, and I want you to know that I recognize it, I see it, and I am just like extremely proud of you. And we got talking, and I showed her a picture of where I started and where I am now. And unfortunately, I don't go to that gym anymore, so I haven't kind of seen her. But if you're out there and you recognize me, I hope that you're still grinding and still kicking butt, because I was extremely proud of you in that moment, for sure.
It was you that got me to start doing that.
Yeah.
We did that on the Zoom.
Yeah.
And you know why I was so fucking pissed about our first podcast? Is the connection was perfect to hear you perfectly, but I had to cut out the video because it was so laggy on Zoom.
Yeah.
So no one got to fucking see you. They're like, hey, this chick lost a shit ton of weight. Yeah. Google her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Google her.
Like, you can't watch it here. Yeah. So I'm glad to be able to do this in person.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nice to follow someone on social media and you show yourself in a bikini. Mm-hmm. You show yourself in your weak points, and it's a lot of respect. Like, I do this nowhere near the same like self-consciousness of weight loss, but doing the stand-up, I always have a hard time not, and it's something I'm trying to work on, is not just immediately trying to relate it to something that happened to me. I'm trying to like be more engaging with people and like understand what you're going through. But in my mind, I'm like, I have an idea of how you feel. Try to make it seem like I know what the fuck's going on. But I had that with stand-up comedy. I've been enjoying doing it. I really like doing it. And there's bits that I find that are super funny or I'm self-conscious about that I'll post out there to see who the fuck else thinks it's even funny that didn't do great. Anyway, definitely not the exact same thing as fucking losing hundreds of pounds. But anyway, that's as close as I am to it. But what's the goals now? Like, obviously you want to... I'm assuming you say that you want to reach a peak level, so you want to still lose some weight or tone or whatever you want to do. You want to get skin removal. You're coaching. How's that going?
Amazing. I have a good handful of clients right now. They're seeing amazing success. Like, I don't even want to get emotional about it, but when I first embarked on this coaching journey, I was like, I'm hoping to help at least one or two people. But to see the wins every single week on check-ins, every single Sunday, the emotions are just crazy high, because I'm seeing not only huge physical changes in my clients, but again, and that to me just solidifies that this isn't going to be, just a one-off for them. This is going to be a long-term sustainable change. And in my head, I'm like, that means that I'm changing people's lives, and I feel like that's what I've been put on this earth to do. I obviously do it through my work, for sure, but this is just a whole different level. So I'm super proud of kind of where I am and the amount of people that I've been able to help. When it comes to personal goals, I'm obviously I'm nowhere. Yeah, I'm not there yet. Still grinding, still putting in the work. My goal right now is once I get my asthma a bit more under control, I have signed up for the Detroit half marathon in October. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. And so that's the goal right now, is to get to the place where I can finish it. You know, people ask me, okay, what's your goal for time? I'm like, I don't have a goal. I just want to finish. You know, I want to be able to cross that finish line, get that medal around my neck, and just feel that freaking pride. Because 330-pound Christina could have never. Right. Yep. So that's one of my ultimate goals. On top of obviously just continuing to coach and help as many people as I possibly can. Yeah. And just keep inspiring people.
Do you think you deserve that?
Oh yeah.
I know that's a hard question.
100% I do.
Good. Yeah. That's a
good
response.
I do. I've put in some freaking work, man. I have hauled some serious ass.
Yeah.
You know, and back in the day, I probably wouldn't have said yes, but if I look at this journey that I've been on from an outsider's perspective and seen like the things I've been through, the setbacks, the injuries, the illness, the heartbreak, like all those things it's just life, you know? And I've been able to persevere and to push, and the fact that I'm standing here in such a positive headspace, again, able to help others, to inspire others through social media and through my coaching, to inspire people that I work with, you know, I look out at this journey from an outsider's perspective, and damn right, I deserve it. Damn right, I should be proud of myself.
I asked that, and that's a great fucking response. That's the one that you deserve to fucking respond with. I've had my moments throughout my life where I didn't fully understand coaching. I was ignorant to it, of thinking like, how the fuck are you supposed to change my life? Like, what have you actually done? Because you see so many of them now. You were one of the first ones where it was just like, because I talked to you fucking 3 years ago. Like it was 2020.
Crazy.
No, it was 2021.
Was it? Wow. Yeah,
like
that makes sense. About 2 years into my journey. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So to see it on social media and still chat with you and touch base on shit that you're going through and stuff you're doing, it's cool to see it firsthand, of like this person that first off was already a fucking hero behind a cape doing the dispatching for police that never gets recognition for it, to fucking getting something that you truly do get recognition for and deserve the recognition for. It's awesome to see someone change other people's lives that truly should be. And I think that coaching itself, I'm in sales, so I get a lot of the like negative aspect of what sales is, of I'm not a fucking 80s car salesman, okay? I'm not wearing a fucking black leather suit or whatever the hell those guys used to wear with their slick back hair and telling you that this is the best thing you are ever going to see. I'm going to give you what I have to offer. And if it helps you and it makes your life easier with the people that I sell to, then hell yeah, let's roll. Which is the aspect I think you have, but it's almost like so many of those coaches made this negative aspect on what being a coach is, that it's nice, and it seems like something that needs to become bigger in our society, of finding the person, like I'm doing it in business right now, finding the person that have done it, that have gone through it, to find the easier route. Do you think that we'd be farther in life at all if no one ever coached? Ever.
Yeah, right.
If someone didn't explain the automotive industry of how we can make cars faster, or medicine, or there'd only be one person doing it because no one else just asked on how they did it or figured out how they did it so much faster and so much quicker.
Yeah. It's like the roadmap, right? I figured out the roadmap to success. I've, put in the work. I've been through the trenches. I've gone through the storms. I've weathered them. And I have that path. So now you just got to follow me, and I'm going to help you through to get to the other side
with proven
success
photos of what the fuck you did.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seeing that bathing suit, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a goal of, have you done 5Ks?
Yep.
I really want to do a marathon.
It's a great way to start.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
But my cousin ran the Ottawa Marathon a couple weeks ago.
Amazing.
So a 5K is on my list.
Totally.
Right now.
That's a great place to start. I have a lot of clients. Actually, I have one doing one next week. I had one do 10K 2 weeks ago. I have clients and that's where I tell them to start. I'm like, if you want to give yourself a tiny, quote unquote, a smaller, attainable goal a 5K is where it's at. And last year, I actually had a bit of a challenge for my clients where it was, a road to 5K challenge where, for 8 weeks, I programmed them some walking / running into their workout programs. And at the end of it, we did like a virtual 5K. Obviously, with my local clients, we actually all got together at a local park and we /ran a 5K. I made little medals for everybody.
Nice.
And then my international clients, like I have a client in Honduras, I have clients in the States.
Wow,
and so,
shit.
yeah, we did kind of like on the Sunday at 1:00. I actually sent everybody bibs that they could print out and kind of put on their shirts.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super, super fun.
Good
so
for you.
cheesy.
That's so above the
but
top.
It was ridiculous. But
That's
it
amazing.
just
That's
gave
what it should be.
them like, and it's so awesome. They printed out their bibs, and a bunch of them did it with their family, with their kids. So they printed out these bibs, put their favorite numbers on it, and they just went out as a family. And even just a bunch of them just walked 5K. But to see like the pride in their faces was astronomical. It's a great place to start. And then next thing you know, they're running, signing up for 10K races. And I have a client doing a half marathon this summer, so it's a great place to start is with a 5K, and then kind of, do a couple of those and slowly work your way up to a 10, maybe a 15K relay, half marathon, and then go for the whole shebang to do a full. So half marathon for me this year. And then my ultimate goal is to run New York City Marathon next year
That'd be sick.
is my goal. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. My cousin has the goal right now to beat the 3.5 hour mark so she can do the Boston.
Amazing.
To qualify for
Nice.
it. But genius idea to take the pressure of going to a signed up 5K event with all
Exactly.
these people watching to go do it at home.
Yep.
Genius.
Just go, put your watch on and just go walk, run, whatever you can do, 5K, send me a picture of your finish pace or whatever that looks like. And I sent everybody medals too. I sent them all in the
so
mail,
cool.
just sent them little medals that said 5K. And it was so well received. It was so well
that's
received. So
so
I'm definitely going to be
above
doing that every
amazing.
year with my clients. It was fantastic. And like I said, a lot of them just walked it. And who cares? You walked 5K at once. That's a huge accomplishment for so many people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. If someone wanted to become one of your clients and get coached by you, how would they start?
Just go to my Instagram, and there's a link in my Instagram page. If you click on it, it's a quick little form that you fill out. It goes directly to me, and I will personally reach out to you. I'll send you a message. We'll have a little bit of a conversation. Make sure this is a good fit. I may not be the coach for you, and you know what? We can both agree and just kind of part ways. But I want to help as many people as I can, obviously. So yeah, you just have to go to the link in my bio. We'll have a quick chat. We'll figure out what your goals are, and if they align with kind of my coaching, then we'll rock and roll. I set you up on my app. I constant communication with my clients in the app. I have a lot of clients that, they're going out for dinner, it's this Saturday today, they're going out for dinner tonight. They'll send me a message, be like, hey coach, I'm going to Kelsey's tonight for dinner. Here's the menu. What would be a good option for me to pick that will help me kind of stick within my macros? I'll go through the menu. I'll throw a couple suggestions out at them, right? Because again, in order for this to be a long-term sustainable change, you have to be able to enjoy your freaking life. Are they going out, 2 or 3 times a week to eat? No, every once in a while, go enjoy your time with your family. Send me the menu and I'll hook you up. So, and then I send them, meal plans. I send them workout plans. And I think the biggest part of my coaching is the accountability piece. So every single Sunday, my clients check in with me. I ask them what their current weight is, which is the lowest point of the totem pole for me. I mean, I'm happy to see weight loss, but there's so many other huge factors.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to know, how your week was in terms of your sleep. Did you get good sleep this week? How was your digestion? Was it good or was it poor? Did you get enough water in? What were your step averages like? What were your non-scale victories? What's something you could work on this week? Send me your progress pictures. Let's see if we can do a comparison of progress pictures. What are your measurements like? Those are the things that I like to focus on because, I have a lot of clients who have lost, maybe 5 or 10 pounds over the past couple months, but looking at their progress pictures, it looks like they've lost 25 to 30 pounds, So as hard as it is to take those first progress pictures, they are so key. So if anybody's embarking on a weight loss journey, I get it. I remember, and I share it all the time. My first progress picture is the one of me standing in the mirror, just looking really, really sad. And I took it and I put it in a folder in my phone that you needed a password to open. just in case my phone got out there. It was the hardest thing to take those pictures. But now looking back, I'm like, damn, I'm so glad I did it. And it's a hard thing to do for a lot of my clients when they first start. But again, the importance of it is so astronomical because again, you could see, 5 to 10 pounds difference, but looking at the difference in your pictures, it's like, oh, wow. So it's a significant part of check-ins is doing the progress pictures. And my favorite question I ask is, what was your glimmer this week?
Good.
Glimmers.
Gotta be a win.
Yeah. Glimmers is something that essentially just going about your day and finding joy in it. So for me this week, it was hitting, I putt a 30 foot putt and I got it in the hole yesterday. That was my glimmer yesterday. It was a big glimmer this week.
Yeah,
but even something as simple as, going out, walking my dog and seeing a beautiful flower, in someone's garden and just taking like a moment to like appreciate how beautiful it is. It could be something so simple as that and just taking a moment and just like stopping and just like acknowledging that that's a really beautiful flower, and just taking that time and just like, and it's really kind of changed my life and really got me to a place of like appreciation. Today on my way here to your place, there was a golden retriever. I have a golden retriever and there's a golden retriever sitting in the back seat of a car looking out the window. And I just stared at this little guy and I was just like, oh, that just made my day, and just like taking a moment to like appreciate little things like that. And then once you start doing it, it's kind of hard to stop.
Real life things.
Again, something as simple as someone that grew a beautiful flower in their garden, and once you start appreciating those things, they become just huge points.
I had an idea of what I was going to say, and then listening to your entire thing, I almost signed up for this coaching plan because I was like, okay, I could see some good shit happening today. Let's roll into this. But seriously, if you're sitting at home or in your car listening to this or hearing this, and you're thinking to yourself of like, I needed a sign, or you're looking down at yourself during any of this conversation of weight loss and anger and mental health and all these issues, and you're just looking at yourself of like not being happy with it, just know that the only fucking start to that is just send a message. If you're thinking about not being able to do it yourself, Instagram Christina Topic and send her a message or click her link, fill out her form. You don't know if it's gonna be the right fit for you. She doesn't know if it's gonna be the right fit for her, but it's the fucking stepping stone. Yeah. Even if she doesn't think she's the right fit or you don't think you're the right fit, she'll give you an idea of where to go next. Mm-hmm. Take the help that you can. Social media doesn't have to be a hub to see all the shit you don't have in your life. It can see the opportunities of what you can have in your life. So thank you for coming on today.
Of course.
It was a pleasure to meet you in person.
Yeah.
You are beautiful. And it was like, you only see it on social media. It's better in person.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's incredible to see your journey. I'm excited to see you on social media and chat with you in person, maybe hit some golf courses and continue this run of yours and keep rolling.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat.
Yeah, follow her, reach out, make a change in your life. Thanks for watching the Heart2Heart Podcast. Have a good